I'm Chad.
I'm Dad. No, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be Dad first.
Oh yeah, you're Dad.
I'm Dad.
I'm Chad, and this is our channel. First fuel stop. Got the 180, and then we got a bunch of S21s. There's Don's plane. There's Glenn's plane. It's a factory built with the Rotax. Beautiful airplane. Oh, okay, that comes out. I didn't know that. I have to look at mine and see if mine comes out. Get that shade on mine. Oh, that's a good idea up there. I need to get that shade figured out on mine. So it's just a little track that goes up in there, okay. Got the puke bags. Got the visors. I'm gonna get some visors. That's pretty sweet. Heck yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. I can take mine off and move it. Check that out. That may come out. Yeah, it does come out. That's pretty cool. Didn't even know that. But that's okay. It flies perfectly straight with those two. Alright guys, we're all on our way to Oshkosh, and we stopped this morning and fueled up at Elk City, Oklahoma. We were making our way to our second stop, and I started getting fuel coming into the airplane. And I haven't put the video out yet of last time, but I believe the fuel fitting, well, you'll see in the video that I do, the fuel fittings back here. I didn't Loctite this one, so it came loose and had some fuel coming in there. Got all that fixed. Well, I thought it was doing it again, and it just blew my mind, so I landed. Checked everything, and the torque pace, nothing had moved. So, went to open this up, and this has done this before, but it's never been this bad. This fuel stand is spinning in here. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to set this down so I can try to move it. You can see I can literally turn it with my hand. Y'all can see that. See, it just spins in there, and I don't understand how to get it other than just emptying the fuel out and dumping Pro Seal down there to keep it straight. I don't know what to do, and what happens is it starts moving. It's this fuel cap, and then creates a suction. It cross feeds over here, and that's it. It fills up and starts pushing out and leaking down the top of the fuel tank. I'm assuming that's what it's doing. Like I say, I don't really know, but once I stopped and I tightened this nut up a little bit so the clamping force would be more, and it stopped. I flew about an hour and a half back to here. So this was a fuel stop. I'm gonna put some fuel in it and head back home, because I don't want to go into the mountains with a known problem. So if anybody knows what I can do there, like I say, other than putting Pro Seal in it, I don't know really what my options are. I don't know if that one is just shorter, a design, manufacturing problem, but this one doesn't move. This one stays put. So, I mean, this one, you can't move this one at all. So, I don't know, but I'm going to try to limp it home. Like I say, I tightened that nut up and flew an hour and a half and didn't have any problems, and it stopped cross feeding. So once it fills up on this side, there's a problem, and pulls from that side. Anyway, bear with me, guys. Anybody that's had this problem and was able to remedy it, the only other thing I can think of is to drill out a safety wire, keep it from spinning, that or Pro Seal. I don't know if the Pro Seal is going to stick to that slick tank on the inside. I mean, hell, who am I kidding? Pro Seal sticks to everything. But anyway, let me know, guys, if you kind of stuck here. Probably going to turn around, or I already have turned around. I can't figure that out. Like I said, I don't want to be in the mountains with a problem. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to finish up this video, but I want to explain to you guys the fix. So by now you'll have seen, I think, what caused the fuel leak on the way to Johnson's Creek, and ultimately factored into my decision to turn around when I was in Kansas. I was about 100 miles from the RAND's headquarters, but they were closed. I couldn't get anybody on the phone, so made the decision to turn around. So now you're going to see what I believe the fix is going to be. So let me start a new video. Okay, so some of these parts aren't included in the fix, but I'll start with the fix first. So I have the old style fuel tank. I call it it's the fuel tank support. And so mine, this actually was skinny. It was just the thickness of that ring right there. And we had to put nut plates on the bottom. So our kit was number 111. So if you have anything before that, I'm not sure when they changed. I know Project 2 Arrow has the new one. Not sure if he bought that extra or if it came in his kit. But anyway, if you have the old style kit, it would have come with the thin ring that's just this thickness, and you would have had to have drilled the holes and put nut plates, as we showed in one of our videos. And then the fuel stand was different. It was tall at one point, and then it came around and it was shorter at the other, and there was an interference fit between it and the ring. Well, the problem is some of the fuel tanks worked with this and some didn't. So my pilot side didn't fit like this. So the ring actually didn't do what it was supposed to with the fuel stand. So the fuel stand, as you saw in the video, was actually turning. And I think what happened is it ended up vibrating and turning and pushing up against the fuel cap. And when it did that, it released the fuel cap pressure and caused a suction, and it caused all the fuel to transfer over to the pilot side. And as many times as we've had to take this apart, I think we damaged that O-ring, and that pressure of that fuel coming over and swelling the tank, maybe, I could be wrong, was just enough to get past that O-ring. Don't really know for sure, but that's my guess. So I decided to go ahead and buy, probably didn't need the fittings, but I just wanted to be sure, because it is not fun having a fuel leak in an airplane. So I bought all new fittings, O-rings, rubber washers, flat washers. I bought new screws, and then I'm going to use my old fuel ring, and then I'm going to have to take the red fuel ring out and get rid of all the Pro Seal, and then I'm going to try to use the new scupper. So I talked to Tony. He said that it can be done. The new wing skins, the diameter of the hole in the skin is bigger. He said they have cut some of those. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try to get it in there without cutting anything. And when you take the red ring out, this actually will collapse. The tank will come down, because when you put the screws in, you actually pull it up. Okay? For lack of a better way of saying it, if you go back and watch the video, you'll see the old ring is actually sticking up a little bit above the fuel tank. And then when you put the screws in, it actually sucks this up. So I'm thinking when I take the red ring out, I went back and watched my videos, the tank will fall down and will give me enough room to insert this. And then now you don't need Pro Seal between the red fuel ring and the bottom C ring. You just use this scupper as a gasket. However, you will need Pro Seal between this and the wing skin. So my thought is I'll put it all together, put the Pro Seal in, and then put the red ring on and tighten everything down. That will bring this up against the skin, and then maybe I put some sandbags or some weight down to push the skin down on the scupper for the Pro Seal to adhere and dry. So I'll do another video when we do this, so you guys that are wanting to do this will be able to see how we did it. So again, I don't know if that's exactly what caused it, but I've got a sneaky feeling that pushing on the fuel cap, along with how many times we've had a fuel leak, and which was twice. The one time I tightened it down when we were in Bridgeport and it stopped, and then it started again. So I drained all the tanks, took it apart, and actually put Loctite on the pilot side, which you'll probably ask, why didn't you have Loctite on it the whole time? Well, obviously I forgot to put it on the pilot side. I took the co-pilot side apart while the fuel was drained, and there was Loctite on that side. So I'm going to do both sides, even though the co-pilot side is not turning, the fuel stand is not spinning. I'm going to go ahead and do it all. We're going to do the annual and some other things that I didn't like. One thing being the new billet door handles, which this is kind of an expensive upgrade, but I think it's worth it. It looks really cool. And Dr. Don had the old unit fail and his door come open on a trip. So I'm going to replace those. So that's why the Johnson Creek trip didn't work out. Really don't like the fact that I didn't get to go. However, I thought that was the better decision, even though I made it home without a glitch after I tightened the fuel cap, the nut on the bottom of the fuel cap. I made it home, didn't have any cross feeding and no fuel leak. But being over flat land is a lot different than being over the mountains. I've never flown in the Johnson Creek area, and the plane needed to be 100%. And so I just made the decision to come home. So we'll get it fixed, show you guys the process when we do fix it, and then show you guys our annual or inspection that we do on the plane. So, all right, guys. So got one almost done. Plane is filthy. We're doing annual. My motor mounts, the bottom mounts were upside down. Well, not upside down, they were just backwards. There's the halves. One half is a little bit thicker than the other half. I had them wrong. Anyway, so we took some razor blade and cut around here. I'm going to get some touch-up paint on that. And then all this is just smudges. It cleans up. But I was able to get the old defective stand out, and I was able to get the scupper in and all the holes line up. I'm so excited. So the next thing, we're got to get the vacuum to get all the trash out. A few pieces we fell down in. I'm going to shoot some Pro Seal in there, and then that scupper will be Pro Sealed to the skin, and then slide the new. Let me show you guys the difference here. So there's the old one. See the thickness of these two. And then had to make a special tool to get that nut off. I just bent a wrench. But these guys, the new one it's all threaded. So a lot easier. And then that might have worked. Doesn't matter. I mean, you had to take it so far apart, you might as well do this one, and it slides down in there. So that's how that works. Actually fit over this one, but I mean, you're already there, you might as well swap it. It's not right. Even though it fits over it, I'm gone this far, you might as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's one end of that's taller than the other.
Why?
It's something about, I think the bottom of, I don't know, the tank, something about how I don't know, I'm guessing. But anyway, that's the new design. Some people were having trouble with this not fitting. Ours fits with this sliding down over. Well, there's the old one. There's my problem. I'm going to do the other side, even though there's no problem. It hasn't been spinning. And then the other thing is I've got this guy. I've got to take the blue out, the blue fitting out to get the nut to fall off. So that's what I'm about to do next. But anyway, that's what we're doing. I wanted to show you guys that. I'll do a video when we cut this other one off so you see how easy it is. All right, so that's how it's going to look. That's the anodizing has faded, I guess. That's where the Pro Seal was. So tomorrow I'm going to bring a vacuum. I've got all the fuel sopped out, but there's some stuff I want to get out. Just showing you how that fit. That scupper went in, didn't have to cut anything. They were talking about the new ones, the new skin, they're wider, the diameter of the hole. So everything fit. My anxiety is down. That one I'm gonna have to do some touch-up paint because I took some of the paint off when I was taking the Pro Seal off, but not too bad. I'd rather have a little bit of scratch paint than a leaky fuel tank. So those are in. We're gonna vacuum those out, then we'll put the Pro Seal in the stand, and the Pro Seal just goes between the scupper and the skin. So the scupper is now the gasket. So there won't be any Pro Seal here. There's some kind of sealant here. Don't know, I'll have to look at the instructions, but anyway, I'm gonna leave that open tonight so it can just kind of vent the fumes out. And I have a special tool to get that nut off, so we just stopped. But I talked to Rands and they want the bump up, and the only thing I can think of is that bump just kind of tells you where the square is inside, because there's only two ways it can go. It can go 180 degrees the other way. I don't see any other reason why that bump needs to be up other than telling you where the square lines up at. But we've got them turned around. We just can't get the bolt in, so we're gonna have to loosen the top to be able to get the bolt in. But got them flipped around the correct way. So that'll get checked off the list, and we'll just keep working our way down. Another thing, guys, is you want to make sure all these are an inch apart. You don't want to zip tie all these together. I'll probably put another one right here, but you want to get these an inch apart is what everybody's been telling me. All right, so we are now putting the tack cloth in because I got to open up the hole in the tank because the ring, the tank's a little bit bigger than that ring. I finally got that one out. I had to use a Sawzall because I couldn't hold on to it. The threads were messed up. I couldn't hold on to the end and unscrew the nut. So got all new hardware for the back, O-ring, and then Taylor with her small hand is putting the tack cloth in. And I'll show you guys in a second what we're doing. But got the punch list, making our way through. Had this O-ring tore on the dipstick, so I got a new O-ring. I'm flipping the Lord mounts around on the bottom, and that's a booger because the engine wants to fall. So I had to loosen these guys up, and I got new tinsel nuts, so I couldn't find my 9/16 that I made. So I made like 6 of them, and finally this one worked. So that's what you got to do to get it in there. So she's got that done. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is just a little too big for it to slide into, so I've just got to ever so slightly notch it. That's okay. It's just right here. So that's what I'm about to do. So you can see the metal here, and you can't see it right here. So I put a tack cloth in there to catch all the shavings. I'm going to do both sides, and then once I can get that in there, then I'll Pro Seal this and lay some sandbags on it and leave that overnight. Do both sides. I get 2 cans of Pro Seal because I'm also going to Pro Seal where this slides in. One of them I've got too loose, so I'm going to Pro Seal the top when I slide it in to keep it from moving. But you got to grind this bottom, because when they put this bottom piece in, it's an interference fit and it ever so slightly pushes it out, so the ring, it won't slide over the ring. So all right, here we go. Okay, it's cleaned up and it slides in. So, well, it's not cleaned up, the edges are cut a little wider, so it slides in now. Now I gotta vacuum it out, and then she'll get her hand in there with a tack cloth and wipe it all out, and then we'll do the other side. Then we can button these fuel tanks up. All right, guys, I wanted to show you guys how I weighted this down. I used a bowl upside down and just some weights. So I'm gonna set this down, we'll see what it did. Man, that's heavy. That's 50 pounds. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna tell you what, that was a booger, getting that Pro Seal up under that skin, but I'm happy with that. It took 2 tries. The first time it didn't get in there in a couple of places, so I redid it. I have to do some touch-up paint. I know it doesn't look great, but the only person gonna see is me when I'm fueling up. So there you go. No, the manual calls for it, but no Pro Seal between the tank and the scupper, or the Viton seal, whatever you want to call it. And I got some trash I'm gonna have to get out of there. So I'll get the vacuum and suck that trash out of there. All right, guys, that's it. I am very impressed with that. You know, it's a lot better to do this while the wing is apart. That way you can flip it over like on the Eddie Gill video and glue that ring on, but unfortunately I can't take it back apart. But that new ring is taller and it's sandwiched between this and the bottom of the tank. It's not going anywhere. So I'm very happy with that. So I got to do the other side and then clean this up, put fuel in it, and make sure we don't have any leaks. I went ahead and took the header tank apart and took the fittings out and re-Loctited those guys on the back just to make sure. So now everything is 100%. So we shouldn't have that problem that we had going to Idaho. Remember, I bought all new fittings, outflow fittings, and everything's Loctited. This side was Loctited, it wasn't leaking, but I went ahead and took it apart just to make 100% sure. And that side is the one that wasn't Loctited and we kept having the problems with. Okay. Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of Dad and Chad.
If you like this video, share it with your friends and give us a thumbs up.
And never miss an episode of Dad and Chad by hitting that subscribe button.
Because we'll be back next Tuesday with another episode.
Thanks again for watching
Dad
and Chad.